Hi guys, Look here and welcome to another FIFA video, and today guys I'm going to be doing the rating predictions for Borussia Dortmund for FIFA 21. We did do it on Bayern Munich a few days ago, so today we're going to be doing it on Borussia Dortmund. Hopefully though as well there will be some 6 PM content on FIFA. If there isn't, this will be the only video for today. We'll just have to wait and see what EA do at 6 PM. And a few people said in the last video for the Bayern one I need to try and make the video a little bit shorter if possible, so I have cut down the number of players that I'm going to feature in this video to kind of like the main squad. I thought that for the Bayern video I included cards that didn't really need to be included in there because they don't really mean too much, or they weren't getting that many games over the course of the season. So I have cut it down for this video to 12 players to make it a little bit shorter for you guys, because that video was like 20 minutes long, which was too long. So I'm going to try and keep this video to maybe 10 minutes, which I think is isn't too bad. And of course Dortmund are probably going to finish second this season. I think it is still mathematically possible that they can win the league, although it is very much out of their hands. And of course there's only like 4 games left in the Bundesliga this season, so we're at a stage where we can pretty much make a good guess at what some of the ratings are going to be like for FIFA 21. So we're going to get off into the goalkeepers. The only goalkeeper that will feature in this video will be Berkey. He had an 85 rated card for FIFA 20. I don't think he picked up any special cards across the whole season. He didn't get a team of the season. I don't recall him picking up any informs either. Who knows? He might be one of those players that might go and get like a Fussies card or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. But I think he will continue to keep the 85 rating for next year, on the fact that he had 35 games so far in all competitions this season, and he's kept 13 clean sheets, which isn't too bad. He has a decent defense in front of him, but it's not like the best defense in the world. So to keep 13 clean sheets in 35 games, not just in the Bundesliga but also in the German Cup and the Champions League, isn't too bad. To have gone like an increase on his handling and stuff like that, going from 80 up to 82, but overall I think his main rating will remain as an 85. I think he hasn't been like exceptionally good, but he hasn't been bad at the same time. He's done his job, he's done okay, but probably no more to give him like an 86 rated card. I think he'll just keep that 85 rated card. Moving into the defense, we're going to start off with the veteran Mats Hummels. I only checked, he's only 31 years of age. I thought he would have been a lot older than that, but he has an 87 rated card for FIFA 20. He did also pick up a team of the season card, and he has had a decent season. 37 games he has played across all competitions, and also keeping 14 clean sheets, which isn't too bad. Obviously, with the fact that he is starting to get older, we know what EA like to do with older players is just absolutely go ham on reducing their pace. And I don't think they'll go mass. I think they will definitely reduce his pace. I don't think they're going to give him like 45 pace like Toni Kroos or Parejo or whatever, but I think we will see a reduction on their pace. So I've gone on this pace going down from 51 to 50. Despite him getting a team of the season cards, whilst I think he has done good, I don't think he's been their best defender this season personally. I think there has been 1 or 2 players that have maybe slightly performed better than him. He's still done a decent job though, and I think he deserves to keep that 87 rated cards. I have gone with a physicality increase on Hummels as well, because I think having 76 physicality on him is criminal. He should be better than that, so I have gone with an increase actually on that part, but I think he will keep his 87 rating. The next defender, and one defender that I think we will get, or we will see get an upgrade for next FIFA, is going to be Akanji. He has an 83 rated card in FIFA 20. He's kept 19 clean sheets in 45 games, so 5 more clean sheets than Hummels, but at the same time has played 8 more games than Hummels as well. So he does seem to be like the favoured centre-back, certainly at Dortmund. He is 24 years of age, I believe, so he's going to hopefully be at Dortmund for quite a long time and be able to, build himself up as like a bit of a club legend for them maybe over the next few years. But he's had a solid season. He did have like a storyline player, I think, and apart from that hasn't had any of the special cards. He's been still performing very consistent throughout the whole season. I'll go with a slight pace increase to him. His defense and physicality as well definitely deserves to be upgraded, and I think an 84 rated card would be thoroughly deserved for him in the next FIFA. Getting into the next one is going to be PISZCZEK, who will be entering most likely into his final season. He did recently sign a contract extension for 1 more season, and apparently he does plan to retire after next season. This year he did have a flashback card, so hopefully maybe next FIFA he will get like an end of an era card or something like that. And to be fair, despite his older age, he still actually had a decent season. He still actually played 35 games this season and coming with 14 clean sheets, which obviously isn't too bad. I mean, he obviously he won't increase in rating. I can see EA being harsh on him, like they're harsh on so many players, and probably give him a rating decrease. But I think he's performed well over the course of the season. If you look at his stats, I think he deserves to keep the 81 rating. Of course, we would see a reduction in his pace. There'd be no question about that. That would definitely happen. But I think, on the whole, certainly deserves to keep an 81 or at least 80 rated at the worst. Like, don't put him into the 70s, EA, please don't. But I think, in my personal opinion, he deserves to remain as an 81 rated. And then I believe we're into the final defender here, and it's going to be HAKIMI. Now, I should mention before this one, as it stands, he's going back to Real Madrid. He actually, I didn't know this until I was actually researching on him. He actually went in 2018 on a 2-year loan deal to Dortmund, and I thought that at the moment it doesn't seem to be, apparently according to news outlets, they're saying that he or Dortmund plan to sign another loan deal with him. They don't plan to necessarily buy him, but sign another loan deal with him. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the case would be if PISZCZEK is going to be retiring next season, then I think it would make every sense for Dortmund, because he's performed very well for Dortmund. It would make sense for Dortmund to try and buy this guy as the long-term replacement to PISZCZEK. I think that, I mean, that's what I'd do. I think that's common sense. I think Dortmund really need to look at trying to sign this guy. I don't know what his buy price is or his buyout clause or whatever, but he's actually played most games this season as like a right wing back or as a right midfielder. Of course, his team of the season card as well was positioned as a right wing back, so I think his card next year should be a right wing back. He has had a pretty nice season. He's had 10 assists in 42 games in all competitions, as well as keeping 17 clean sheets. He's a very, very well sought after player. Maybe even Real Madrid might want to keep him, but for the most part, he's still a Dortmund player, and certainly it's definitely within Dortmund's best interests to try and keep him for another season if possible. That's why we've included him in this video. But obviously, great return from him there. Deserves the upgrade to an 83 rated. You could maybe even make the case to take him up to an 84 rated, maybe, but certainly deserves a 1 rating increase at the minimum. So an 83 rated, we have gone with HAKIMI there, and he would be pretty expensive at the start of FIFA. He'd be like a 30k, 40k, maybe even like an extinct card to start off with. He'd be very expensive at the start of FIFA, like the high pace, the nice dribbling, the decent passing as well. But getting into the midfielders, and this one, maybe I didn't need to include this one too much, but he has played quite a few games this season. It's going to be Guerreiro, the Portuguese player. I think deserves a slight rating increase personally. He's played 34 games this season, coming in with 5 assists and 8 goals. Decent return from a left midfielder. We've gone with like a few slight increases on his stats. I mean, his pace would still really be horrific for the most part. His shooting wouldn't really be up to scratch. Yeah, his dribbling, his passing wouldn't be too bad. I mean, to be quite honest, he'd be much better as a box-to-box midfielder, actually, if you're going to use him in game, to be quite honest. But decent season, probably deserves a slight little upgrade, but there's not really much more you can say about it. And the next one will be Axel Witsel. I think he will keep his 85 rating. A decent season by him, 39 games, 4 goals and 5 assists. So from a defensive midfielder to come in with 9 goal contributions in 39 games is a pretty good return. Of course, he's starting to get old now. He is into his, I believe he's 31, maybe even 32 years old now. He hasn't had like an exceptional season, but he hasn't done anything wrong at the same time. I don't think he's coming to that point where we'd see massive reductions on his card because of his age or whatever. I still think he's got quite a few years left in him. I think we would see that classical, the decrease of his pace. Basically, everything's going to start now as you get into your 30s and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think he deserves to keep the 85 rating. Dortmund have had a good season. He's coming with a few nice defensive plays and also attacking plays. So I think we can see him keeping his 85 rating. The next one will be Julian Brandt, of course, a new signing with Dortmund this season. He deserves an upgrade. I think he's been impressive for the most part, playing in behind the attackers and stuff. But he's had a good season, 44 games, 12 assists and 8 goals. I believe he had a team of the season card as well. I think it was actually, I don't think he was in the Bundesliga team season. I think he might have been in the most consistent team of the season instead. I can't exactly remember. I know he had the team of the season card, but I can't remember if it was the most consistent or Bundesliga. I'm going to say it was the most consistent, but yeah, based on that, you mean 20 goal contributions in 44 games. Good return for the most part, and I think going up to an 85, a few people, listen, I could understand people maybe making the case for him to go up to like an 86 rated card, but I think an 85 is more realistic for him. The next one is going to be Jadon Sancho. Will he remain at Borussia Dortmund? My answer is that yes, he will be. I think he should continue to remain there, despite obviously a lot of interest from the Premier League. If I was him, I'd probably stay at Dortmund. I think, they've got a team that can still fight for the league next season, maybe even the Champions League, whatever. They have got a good making of the squad, and the fact that Haaland's come in, if I was Sancho, Sancho, I'd want to play a full season with Haaland, in my personal opinion, because Haaland is such a talent, and the two of them have already got like a really good relationship altogether already on the pitch and stuff. Like the link-up play has been brilliant between them. So if I was Sancho, I'd be staying at Dortmund for next season, and he thoroughly deserves the 2 rating upgrade, going from an 84 to an 86. Listen to this, guys. His stats this season: 22 goals and 21 assists in 46 games. And that's not even a striker. That's like unbelievable stats there for Jadon Sancho. And of course, he's still pretty young at the same time. So of course, yeah, great talent he's going to be. I actually want him to stay at Dortmund for next season. I think it would be the best for him. And that 86 card, again, he would be expensive at the start of FIFA. Very, very good card, though he would be. The next one will be the veteran Marco Reus, always staying at Borussia Dortmund. And again, decent season for him. 15 goals and 8 assists in 32 games. I think he's had a few slight injury problems, but he's had injury problems throughout the whole of his career, to be quite honest. But even so, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't deserve a decrease on his card. Would he deserve an increase? I don't quite think so. I think he's done well to keep and to retain the 88 rated card for himself. There's nothing much more we'd say about that. He'd be a nice card. Sadly, his stamina still probably wouldn't be great again next FIFA, but even so, he'd still be usable for the most part. Apart from his lack of stamina, he's still like decent to use and stuff. So an 88 rating, I think, will be kept for him. Getting into the penultimate player, it's going to be Thorgan Hazard. He's had a good season. He should also get a position change. Most games he has played this season have been as a left winger. He's had 7 goals and 14 assists in 39 games. Good return for him, and I think a 1 rating upgrade for him would be deserved. And then the final one, guys, will be Haaland. 79 rated card he did have. I think he'll go up to an 83 rated. I mean, people would say, you know, should it be like he maybe should be an 84 rated or an 85 rated. I don't think EA will go too mad on his upgrade. I think he definitely deserves an 83 rated card. But we have seen, you know, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's like a fantastic fullback already. He was increased from what, like a 77 rated up to an 83 rated for this FIFA. So, and I would expect him to get another upgrade, of course, for next FIFA. But you know, for these young talents, EA aren't going to go ridiculously mad on upgrading their card too much. But they're obviously going to give him some sort of a decent upgrade, and I think an 83 rated is a fine area to kind of put him at. I think obviously on the season he's had, maybe he would deserve like an 84 and an 85, but as I said before, I don't think EA wants to get too carried away at the moment with his rating, so I think an 83 is definitely a fair one to give him. It'd be a nice card to have, decent pace, nice physicality as well. He's got the makings of like a cheaper version of Lewandowski, basically, when you look at the stats. But he'd be pretty nice, and of course he's going to get a bunch of informs next FIFA. There's no question about that. So that's pretty much going to be all for this video, guys. Let me know, do you agree with my ratings? Do you disagree? You know, what do you think on this Haaland card? Do you think I've been right with the upgrade that he could potentially get? I think in regards to the next one of these I'm going to do, it'll probably be on maybe PSG or something like that, because of course the League 1 season has already finished. But yeah, anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.